For me, certainly, Formula One is the most exciting form of racing there is.
And down the inside goes Danny Ricciardo. Here comes Sebastian Vettel.
And if you no longer go for a gap, like a position, you're no longer racing driver.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars off.
He won in Spa. He wins in Monza.
I am here. Oh, just spotted Cicero pulling off. Bit of action. Yeah, bit of action to start this straight away. I am here. Oh, just spotted. No, he's just locked up and gone off. Bit of action. That was a bit of an excitement there. Well, he's got going again. He's carried on. Well, I think first casualty, I reckon, will be Carter if he's here. I think probably a lot of the tier 2 graduates will probably drop out along with Max. Then everyone else will then go to Q2. But I'm interested to see which drivers then run the mediums there. Yeah. Yeah. And just... Yeah, we see Farron pulling over to the left there. Well, I know they're all in the voice chat together, so I think they've got a bit more communication going on. Exactly. Oh. Yeah, that he is. However, he is absolutely chucking it around. Yeah. That's... Well, he's reserving for Mercedes. I will say, though, that's only 0.2 off the pole time from Tier 2. It's already setting a high benchmark for Tier 1. I think Jeremy. I think he's just putting in a banker lap. He only needs to get through at this pace. We know he's absolutely got the speed to be at the top of front end of Q3. No, that's not Rin. That should be Bashi. Edu. There's. Well, I mean, we've just seen a 39.2 from Jeremy. What I think is going to happen, I think he's going to be able to continue that pace. It's how fast the rest of the grid gets. It's fourth. There we go. Rin's just putting a 30. This is about what I predicted would happen. Well, he's currently sat in the pits at the moment. I don't expect him to. Greeny goes 14th. Oh, that is not a good lap. I think he made a mistake somewhere. Oh, look. Doesn't look like he's hit the wall. Yeah, he set that a little while ago. That was his previous lap. I think he's just going to stay in now for the rest of Q1. Yeah. Don't forget Genie as well. Yeah, I think he will have backed off. He might come in for another run at the end of the session there. See Bashi go up to 6th. And we've just seen Bashi go up to 6th. He's just dropped into the 39s with a 39.8. And there we go. We've just seen Baclan. Yeah,
guys,
that's
there's no DMC is not on the screen. He's like, I only hear Cameron. Everyone.
Oh, has he been muted? That's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
What about in OBS?
Do you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now, maybe.
We'll find out in a little while from the stream.
Well, that is very disappointing because I...
Well, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, you join us for the second time going into Tier 1's qualifying in the Q1. Sorry about them audio issues, but hopefully you are intrigued by Cameron's commentating.
Yeah, hearing the backup commentator on his own, all by his lonesome. We've just spotted Rom and Oatly are on their outlaps now. Along with Fenrir. Oh, there's a huge contact with the wall.
Who is that? Is that Edu? No,
I think it was
one of the Red
Bashi.
Bulls.
Oh no, when
It was Oatley.
it's an Alpine spun around.
And there is a yellow flag on Sector 3. What is going on here?
It's Greeny. It is Greeny.
Greeny is spun around. Will we be able to see him? And yes, he is off the... Was he setting another lap or was he going on in his in lap?
I'm not too sure. It looked like he was trying to get out the way, but got a bit excited on the throttle.
Alright.
AJ, strong start from the Astons. He's up to third.
He has finally actually set a lap. It took him a small little while to get out of the pits. Maybe he was trying to get a setup on. But now we are just waiting for Fenry to actually be able to set a lap. He's on his out lap right now. Let's join him here. Let's see what we can see from him in the following lap. Oh, and he's going back into the pits.
I think he got caught up in Greeny's spin there.
Must have gotten some damage. He will have enough time to come out and set a couple of laps, but he very much has to go in and out straight away. Yes, he has no front wing. And now we see Cicero on the start-finish straight. Is he going into the pits or is he going to set a new lap? He has no ERS, so maybe he's going back into the pits. Yes, and we see him dive into the pits here.
Rom and Oatley have just finished their laps. They're a little way off the pace, but still will make it into Q2 as it stands.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tier 1 qualifying. They are doing a full quali, so we're going to be here a small while, just watching them go through Q1, Q2, and Q3. And how this works, if you've never watched... Oh! And Greeny and D-Man are off! They are out! Now, this is a problem for Greeny, because he may be in trouble of being dropped out of Q1 here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know how qualifying works, in first quali, the bottom guys after P15 are the ones which are removed from the track, essentially. And we go into Q2 with the remaining 15 drivers. So that means for this race, we will see the bottom three, which are currently Adja, Genie, and Fenry, be removed from the qualifying, and we'll go into Q2 with only 15 drivers. Now, Adja is on a hot lap. He had a little bit of traffic, but the traffic nicely got out of the way here. Will he be able to improve? He needs to be a 140.7, only 0.2 faster than he is a second ago. He is on the softs, and we saw some guys qualifying on mediums. They were much faster than he was. But Adja was one of the leading guys in Tier 2 last season. Now, will he be able to bring this experience along with him into Tier 1? Or will he be unable to show anything for it? Now, what will he set? He goes and sets a 139, and he comes 7th on the leaderboard, pushing D-Man down to P8. D-Man was one of the guys who set a second position at the very start of the qualifying. But now he's pushed down pretty much almost out of the top 10. But it doesn't really matter for him because he is DNF'd, meaning he won't be able to set another lap to improve. And can we see Fenry start his hot lap? He's the only one who has not set a time. So we need to see him beat a 139, now a 140.5, in order to be put into the top 15. Now, if he does come higher than 15th place, Greeny will be out of qualifying. Now, Cameron, what do you think about our new driver, Fenry? We've never seen him actually race that much. We only saw him in testing.
We had him in the penultimate race last season. He has fast one lap pace, but his race pace was not there. His consistency was not there. He may have gone over and worked on our off season, but
yeah, he must have been putting in some practice, but we won't really know until we see what his time is, will we?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how he stacks up. Max has just improved. He's gone up to a P9.
Max has gone up to P9. Now, this does not affect our leaderboard currently, as the only guys who can affect the leaderboard that much for the guys who will be pushed out
are Genie and Oatley.
Exactly. Now, Oates has been bigging himself up much recently. He said he would be able to deliver a stunning drive, but we do not see that at the moment. Him coming with a 140.6. Now, we don't want to talk down a driver. We never want to talk down a driver. But if you're going to speak big, you better deliver big.
Looks like he's setting up his lap now. He's gone slow out of turn 16.
Well, we see Fenrir on the start, finish straight. He's so close to setting a fairly quick lap as I'm seeing it. It looks like he will be setting a 140. And he sets a 141.0. And that actually puts him ahead of Genie. But that is not enough, unfortunately, to put him out of the drop for Q2 here. And now we join the Red Bull driver, Ertley, going into turn number 2. Will he be able to improve? Or will he be knocked out?
I see a yellow sector ahead. He's got to be careful. Oh, that's Cicero having pulled over at the side there.
We see Cicero having problems yet again.
He's locked up, gone straight on.
He is a new controller driver. The controller does seem to be giving him problems. How long do you think it will be until he gets back on his wheel?
We know he's coming back on the wheel round about mid-December, so that should be round 3.
Round 3. Okay, so that's not a lot of rounds where he'll be disadvantaged by the controller. Now, do you think he will be able to rack up a few points between now and then? And Oates is spun. He has spun and he's pretty much destroyed his hot lap. He does not have enough time. Yes, he does not have enough time to be able to set a new lap. And it seems that Oates is just out of it. He's unable to improve. The only two guys who can improve now are Fenrir, and Genie is actually in the pit, so he will be unable to improve. Fenrir is here on the start-finish straight.
I think with regards to Cicero, I think if he can keep it clean, he's a solid driver. He may have a chance at some points here. But
Fenrir does improve now. That has pushed Rominator into the bottom 3. Now, this is a little bit confusing. I believe our leaderboard is a little bit bugged here because Greenie should have been put into the bottom 3. However, it's saying Greenie is on 139, so it very much is bugged.
Greenie is 6/10 ahead of Ron, but he will not get to take part in Q2. We will only be having 13 runners in Q2 just due to demand and Greenie's retirements.
The retirements does put you out of the remainder of the qualifying, is it?
It'll put. So we know that 14th and 15th will be demand and then Greenie.
Okay, that is absolutely amazing. You've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're only going to see anyone above Cicero. Now, above Cicero, who will go into Q2. We are seeing Oates, or Fraudily, and Genie and Rominator be pushed out of Q1. And they will be unable to set another qualifying time. They will start in the order you see currently on the leaderboard when the race begins. Now we're going to see if anyone is able to improve on their time. We're seeing a Haas coming up now to the start-finish straight. Is that Baclau? No, it is not Baclau. It is Farham. He has actually invalidated his lap, so he is unable to improve. He's lost a front wing. I wonder what must have happened there. The following driver is Fenrir. Will Fenrir be able to improve upon a P13? He is securely into Q2, so it really does not matter what time he sets. But I think he's just using up the tyres because he will not be using them tyres ever again for the remainder of this race. Or is he going straight into the pits? Yes, he seems to be going into the pits. Behind that, we see Cicero set a purple sector 2. The controller driver is pulling out some pace from God knows where. Will he improve on that 140.0 or will he not? And he does improve, and he goes up to P10, pushing Bashi into P11 and Farham into P12, Ilipat into P13. These guys are all secure into Q2. Now, Cameron, what are your thoughts for the guys who will be put into Q2? Who do you think will remain as the remaining 10 out of that? Because we are seeing the leaderboard right now, but I don't think this is representative.
Not yet, no. I know the top guys have got easily another half second in there. I think we're going to see Edu, Jeremy, AJ, Rin, definitely through. Probably followed by Baclau, Bashi. Other than that, I think it's then all to play for the final spots in Q3. It might even be worth taking a loss and go for P11th with the free tyre choice.
Taking that free tyre choice, you think that will give you a big advantage in the race?
Huge advantage if they can go long to avoid getting caught up in the pit stops.
So you suggest they start on mediums and stretch out their mediums?
Oh yeah, if we don't have a safety car, it's absolutely possible to go mediums to the softs and one stop it to the end.
Now we know that last season that Max, the Ferrari driver, actually loved to go on them hards. You think the hards would work at all on this track?
Not on this track. It's too high. It's too high traction out of those low-speed corners. It's the biggest loss for those hard tires. They're just going to be losing.
So
Losing
we will
grip.
not see Max take his usual strategy of going onto the hards?
I'll be very surprised if he does. If he does, he's going to lose out big time to some of those guys on one stop or even the two stop. You might see some of the guys at the front just go to push their tires to the absolute limit.
Now, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that this qualifying lobby may be a little bit broken, as we see Genie is still on his hot lap, even though the timer has finished. Now, what will probably happen is Genie will be able to set his time, and the lobby will end as soon as he's set his time. We'll find out in a second.
Yeah, we do know about this bug. It is a new bug from Codemasters. It's just waiting on the final car to have their time finished, which was Genie. Now finished, and we're now loading through it.
And in fact, Genie does not improve on his time, and he's unable to make anything come out of that additional time he had at the end. We see him pretty much, 1/10 slower than the guys who are ahead. So he will not be going into Q2.
Not quite, no.
In fact, actually,
Well,
the
I say that,
lobby
no, he has just made
yes,
it.
he has just made it. The lobby has done some weird bugs. And we see Greeny, Fenrir, Romnator, and Oates knocked out of Q1.
Yeah.
They will not be going into Q2. But we do see approximately two of the Tier 2 recruits, two of the Tier 2 graduates, as we like to call them, join into Q2. You think they'll be able to make it into Q3?
I don't think so. Not by the pace that they're looking at.
Now, what about the pace that
So-
D-Man is showing, though? He does seem to be going a lot faster than half of the...
I'm curious to see where he can come, because we know he's very quick in qualifying. He's absolutely on Tier 1 pace.
Definitely.
I think he'll be one to watch in the race, though.
Yeah.
He tends to be a little inconsistent on his race pace.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Q2. This is now the fight for the top 10 drivers. The top 10 drivers will go into into Q3, where they will fight for the top 10 positions. If you are knocked out of Q2, you'll be in the bottom of the pack out of the top 10. However, the guys out of the top 10 do get tyre choice, which is an advantage on this track, according to our Cameron. Now, he does say that starting on mediums may actually be the better choice, so we're going to see if anyone may actually end up sandbagging here. Now, do you believe sandbagging is a fair thing to do, or is it an unfair advantage that people can give to themselves?
Whilst I don't think it'll be sandbagging, but if any of the fast guys can start on the mediums, they're going to carry a huge advantage into the race.
Do you think
They're
any
gonna
of them will think to qualify on the mediums, or will they save their medium time?
Well, we're seeing one Aston out on the thing. We also see a Mercedes out on the mediums. That is Demani has gone out on the mediums.
And I believe our first car out is Jeremy Clarkson with D-Man, yes, out on the mediums. I think he will just be setting a lap as long as he can just get a lap in. D-Man doesn't really need to bother that much. He is probably end up going to bank on the fact that people ahead of him may crash. Now, this is Tier 1 we're talking about, so crashes are very rare. What do you think,
We
Lawrence?
ain't looking at the 4 safety cars in 8 laps.
Yes, it was it's a bit disappointing to see 4 safety cars in 8 laps coming out of Tier 2. However, I must say myself that Tier 2 is our rookie drivers, and these are a new set of rules which they may not be accustomed to.
To be fair, though, there aren't that many changes. The only changes is full qualifying. Although, the general rules, though, that we do have, ghosting is now off.
Yes, ghosting is now off, which did actually cause a lot of that carnage that we saw in Tier 2. You think it will play such a big effect with Tier 1?
Nowhere near. I think that some of the Tier 2s might be ones to watch. But otherwise, I don't think it'll be that much of a change. I'm curious to see what happens when people are getting up now. That was the main reason that we've brought in this rule change.
Exactly. And we did see a little bit of a bunch up actually happening in at the start of Sector 2 with some of the
Oh yeah, got
Aston Martins
4
and the
within a
Red Bulls.
second.
Now, do you think they'll be banking on the toe, or are they just going to move out of each other's way eventually, or what's
I
going
think the
on?
two.
Oh,
Aston
and
Martins
AJ
might be
has
organising.
hit the wall, and that ghosting has caused such a big problem. He has reset to track. Now, resetting to track is against the rules. Do you think anything will come out of this, as the stewards will know that he did reset to track?
Yeah, that's an absolute slam dunk 20-second penalty.
And we see a 20-second penalty may be awarded to AJ at the end of his race. That is, if he finishes the race.
Was that caught on stream?
Yes, it was caught on stream.
Yeah, that will be getting a slam dunk report. There's nothing he can do against that. Also to note, penalties are now carried forward to the next race if he does DNF.
Fantastic. Hopefully something will come out of that. And AJ, unfortunately, you just cannot be breaking the rules like that. But anyway, we see Jeremy going into Sector 3, just sort of passing through traffic. Traffic does seem to be making out of the way for him. He is on his hot lap. He is sandwiched between two houses, the Farham and Baclau. Now, Baclau is a very strong contender against Jeremy on this track. Do you think there will end up being a battle in the race between Baclau and Jeremy? Or is Baclau going to give us one of his exceptional specials and somehow spin out of the race?
Well, last time there were 3 drivers that crossed the finish line together at this track in Season 1. Baclau was one of them, Jeremy was the other. I don't see anything happening this season though, unfortunately.
And Jeremy has set the fastest lap of a 141.0, which is in fact not very quick. And D-Man sets the pole lap so far with a 40.5. Now we did see these guys setting a 39.8, 39.7s. So D-Man may be in very big trouble right now. And we see Adja cross the line with a 40.3, followed by Bashi with a 46. Something must have gone wrong with Bashi to get a 46. And then Cicero, the controller driver, getting a 41.0. Now the following car is going to be Rin. Coming along in the McLaren. He has actually invalidated his lap, so he's going back into the pits. Maybe he's going to take off the mediums. Now, we do like to know that D-Man did qualify on mediums. So that could put him at a big advantage compared to many other people.
We have a yellow in Sector 2.
We'll see Edie cross the line right now. Our fastest driver. The yellow in Sector 2.
There we go.
And Edie sets the fastest lap of a 40.2. This is still not in the range of the... That is on softs, yes, which is actually quite a...
1.1 seconds slower than his Q1 time.
It is a slower lap, indeed. We see Max about to cross the line. Will he be able to make it? Max goes first with the 39.8. This is the times that we should be seeing out of T1. We've got Jorn de Boer coming in now. Will the Ferraris be able to get a 1-2 in Q2? Yes, and it is currently a 1-2 for the Ferraris. There is still plenty of time left, though. We see Baclau and Farham coming up behind. Baclau coming in third with a 40.0, and Farham about to cross the line, and Farham gets a 40.2.
That's a second row lockout.
Indeed, and we see the Alpine about to come in now. Ulipat. Ulipat, now I've lost Ulipat for some reason. He sets a...
He's gone pole. He's gone
pole
pole.
of 39.6. Now 39.6 is very quick. Do you think he'll be able to keep his 39.6 and start first?
I don't think that will stand. I think that we'll start to see some people rack it up a bit as it gets to the end of the session. We do have a couple of yellow flags though. Let's see if we can find who those are for. Seeing AJ start his lap now.
AJ is starting his lap indeed, and Genie still hasn't left the pits. I wonder what is going on there. There must be some kerfuffle happening around in the background. And who else do we have coming across?
Epic Melon is out. I just try and work out if that's on track or not.
Yeah, I cannot find him. No, that
it is
on
Sector
track.
2.
Yes, it is on track. He just passed him. It was an Alpine. He did get passed by Ulipat. Let's see if we can catch what's going on here.
Oh, it's
yes,
it's in the castle section.
He did hit castle section. I saw a glimpse of him. Oh! And the McLarens have made contact. Bashi's a little bit too eager on the throttle. And he hits the rear of his teammate. That is not the kind of driving that you really want to be seeing.
Interestingly, we also see AJ with a grid penalty as well.
Yes, AJ with the grid penalty. Now, will that put him out of Q2? Or will that allow him to continue to Q3?
He will be able to continue, but what I think he's going to do is try and knock somebody down out of Q2. That way he can also then give his teammate a tow as well.
Yes, that is correct. And it seems that everyone is in the pits, and Genie is still in the pit. Genie, Rin, and AJ are yet to set a lap. AJ is about to cross the start-finish line.
Let's see what he can do. There we go, he's taken
AJ
pole.
sets a pole. This is what you expect from this man. He did just come into the assessments and just start racking up these first seconds out of nowhere, to be honest. I really wasn't expecting AJ to be this quick, but he is proving himself so far. Now, there is a yellow flag in Sector 1, I do believe, as people slowing down.
That was Jeremy going slowly. He was letting Rin through.
What do you think about this duo between the Alpine drivers? We have AJ and Jeremy Clarkson. Do you think Jeremy Clarkson will be the backup that AJ needs, or will AJ be the backup that Jeremy needs?
I think in this race it's going to be Lenny taking the lead here. I don't see AJ being as fast, especially with that penalty. He's got a lot of work to get back through the field. With Lenny, he's out on the mediums at the moment. I dare say we're going to see him improve. He's done a really slow lap. That's 141. That we know he can get into the 39s on those mediums.
We are seeing a few more people out on track. Rin's getting ready to go into Sector 3, about to set his time.
Yeah.
Edu's
out on a set of mediums, Adcher's on softs.
Rin sets come out purple again. Sector 2. Purple Sector 2.
Yeah, Rin is very fast at this track here.
Now, does this mean he will be able to be in the top 5, or did he screw up Sector 1 and Sector 3?
I would well expect him to be in the top 5s, even on the mediums.
Even on the mediums?
Yeah, Rin can be a very quick driver on his day. There we go. Called it. He's just taken the first spot there.
Takes pole with a 139.3.
Exactly.
Absolute flyer for lap, and Edu doesn't seem to be too bothered about setting another lap.
Well, he's out on a lap on mediums at the moment.
Yes.
He'll be doing the same.
Now, the question is, why would you be on mediums in Q2?
Well, in Q2, they carry the top 10 carry through whatever set they qualify here on into the race.
So
okay. If you can set your lap on mediums, you're going to lead away from the front.
So it's definitely the Q2 that counts for tyre choice. And then
exactly.
Q3 just counts for positions, is it not?
Yep, Q3 is just a straight shootout from the top 10 who can grab that pole position.
Fantastic. And we see Rin is going exceptionally slow going into Sector 2. Would this be a problem between him and the guys behind?
There's no cars on track behind. I think he's just trying to look after those tyres.
And Bashi does start his hot lap. We'll see if he can improve on his 140.1. We did see him set a faster lap in Q1. So I think this is where it counts. But the question is, why would you be willing to set another lap on your Q2 when you know you're firmly in the top 10?
See, I don't think he is. I don't think he's safe. I think we're going to slowly see everybody start to drop into the 39s now. Oh, Edu is bailing on his lap. Edu will not be going out again.
And he goes very quick into the pits. He is in danger, in fact, of being out of the top 10. And that would be very surprising to see that the fastest man on the grid, potentially, is not going into Q3. It is a potentiality, but it's got plenty of time left. He can set at least 2 more laps. No, 1 more lap.
The man has just bailed on his lap, and Rin is now in as well.
We see Cicero going into Sector 3. He does set a purple Sector 2. It is looking on track to be a P1 or a P2 here. The guy on controller who was having a shambles qualifying in qualifying 1. Will he be able to make something out of this lap? coming up to the line.
Have a
He's looking on track to be a 139 or a... And yes, it is a 139.6. He does improve, but it is not enough to put him in the top 3. But it really doesn't matter. He's firmly in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, unless people start to come out, that's a solid lap. That's on the mediums as well. I'll give him a strong standing in the race.
Bashi bail on his lap here. Going back into the pits.
They're going to have to be quick coming out. They have to leave now, effectively.
Now, Jeremy is on another hot lap, which is... Again, this is why I'm questioning. He's firmly in the top 10. Now, is he purposely just deciding to ruin his tyres for no reason? Or is he trying to test something?
I think he's tested so because his fastest lap is on the mediums as it stands. I don't know why he's carrying on.
He has no reason to be setting another lap. But he's currently on a 139.3, which is exceptionally quick right now. We see everyone looking at the mid 139s. And D-Man is currently in P13. He is on his outlap. The guy from Tier 2, one of the graduates. And our other graduate here is...
he's a reserve. He's not a full-time driver.
He is a reserve.
Both of the Mercedes are actually reserving in this race.
Now, our other graduate is Genie, who has destroyed his front wing. Do you think he will have enough time to pit and set another lap?
Not even close, no.
Not even close.
He will be out in this session.
Now, I just wonder if he has that time bug, which he had last round. Maybe that would allow him to set another lap.
I don't think he will, because he has started this session at the same time. He actually joined late. That's what starts the bug. So it refreshes your timer at when you join in. So at the start of Q1, he would have had 18 minutes, despite the Q1 having been on for another 3. All right. Right now, though, on track, we do have AJ, we have Deman, Adcha, and Edu. It's just started another flying lap. We're watching on board with AJ as he comes through Sector 1. Just down on his time, though. It's 85 thousandths off. See Bashi as well. He's invalidated his lap, unfortunately. That will mean he is in 8th. Unless he can get round very quickly.
Bit of apologies on that. A few issues I had to go solve. And now we are coming in for the last lap that anyone could set. AJ, he is looking to improve, but don't really know where he will be improving to be honest. Oh, and he improves into second position. Jeremy must be fuming. Because
last one to watch is Farham and Edu.
Farham and Edu. Where is our Farham here? He goes into sector 3. And Edu's currently on the start-finish straight. Will he improve? He is in incredible danger. But we know that Edu is a very fast driver. He has to improve right now. And he does, and he sets a pole on mediums. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen this before a day in my life. But this guy is exceptionally quick. It's only a shame that the other fastest driver, Mr. Cameron, is on commentary with us today. And Farham does get out of the bottom 5. And he goes 9th on the track. And now, the only person left on track is Ulipan, and is actually diving into the bits. And ladies and gentlemen, we see that our guys who will not be making it into Q3 are Bashi, Adcha, D-Man, and Abroad Genie.
Bashi might be safe though. Epic Melon has retired. So depending how the game works,
yeah, we will
Bashi
see how this
might have been saved here. He might be safe.
We'll see how it plays out. Now, what do you think about this? Because Bashi was one of our top 5 drivers last season, and
yeah, he came 4th.
Yeah, he's clearly having a difficult time right now.
Yeah.
Do you believe this
we've known for a while he doesn't like this track. He is one of our controller players. He tends to like the more sweeping sections, which obviously with this track, tight turns, high traction zones, doesn't suit his driving style very much.
Ladies and
However,
gentlemen,
I
we
do
see
expect
that
him to
the
move forward.
Bashi was in fact one of the guys who did come out of Q2. As you heard from Mr. Cameron, the controller does not like it. Actually, in fact, this does raise a few questions because Cicero, our new controller driver, actually came 6th in this. And Bashi is our resident controller driver. So, what is going on here? Is this confirmation that Cicero is a much better controller driver than Bashi?
I don't think it's that as much. I think Bashi, the case with Bashi is that his driving style does not suit this track. He's not strong on any of the street tracks, be it Monaco, Singapore, here, or even now the new one, Jeddah.
So you think that may be an issue for him next season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a continuing issue throughout the season. I do expect him to move forwards in the race, however, though.
Now, we do have a visual glitch at the moment. Need to be seeing a couple of these cars going around the track already, which shouldn't be the case. But ladies and gentlemen, you join us into Q3 as we see our top 9 contenders. It should have been 10, but our top 9 contenders are Cicero, Rin, Max, Farham, AJ, Jeremy Clarkson, Edu, Ulipat, and Baklau. Now, Edu almost did not make it into Q3, but he did set a very, very quick lap on their mediums in at the end of Q2 there. Now, what do you think would have happened if Edu had not got into Q3? Do you think his team would have been very proud with his choice of qualifying strategy?
I think there might have been some words behind the scenes. We know what he's capable of, and we know, as we saw, he could get through on the mediums. So there wouldn't have been any advantage with him just having been knocked out.
Exactly. So this is that would have been something that we did not want to see occur. But Q3 starts now. We have 12 minutes for you guys to set a lap. Let's see who'll be first out of the pits.
I'm curious. I think some of them may have got the bug. I've just seen Cicero leave and rejoin.
Yeah, so that would explain why everyone's taking awfully long to...
Here we go. AJ's just left there.
See AJ coming out.
And we also see a Red Bull. That is Edo. And we see Rin out as well.
Absolutely fantastic. So this is battle for position now. Edu has no reason to be using them mediums anymore. He is now on softs. Let's see if he can get the pole position that he got in Q2. Now, he did get that pole position on mediums in Q2, which is actually just goes to show how quick this man is. Because everyone else was using softs and set multiple laps. He basically set 2 laps on mediums and came first.
Yeah, it's a very strong drive as normal from him. It's what we come to expect, certainly over the last season.
Now, Mr. Cameron, we know that you are a very quick driver. You're actually on par, if not greater than Edo on many tracks. Do you think you would have been able to deliver such an amazing drive as Edo has done today?
Not here in qualifying. No, I know Edo is very strong over 1 lap. However, last season, certainly in the tier race, we saw him actually spin twice at turn 13, just as we see Lenny go through there now. And that ended up actually costing him a solid victory. He dropped right down to P4.
Yeah, that is not what we want to see. But if we do see that, that would be very interesting because he will start the season with a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah, that will throw him off, certainly for the first few races. Just see Lenny getting a little bit of space from Rin up in head.
Now, Edu is not taking the slipstream from AJ there. He seems to have slowed down, but I don't think he necessarily needs it. I bet you he's probably banking on the fact that he can set 1 lap and then just sit in the pits for the remainder of the time.
Well, I think at this point they're just going to... This is all about position. They do have 2 sets because they use the mediums. So this is them just going to burn through those, try and get the absolute most out of them.
Yes,
that really see correct. Tier 1 come alive.
Yes, because many of these drivers actually did set a lot of time on them softs, so they will not have a spare set of softs to use. It seems that Edu and AJ actually have the advantage in this situation.
Yeah, anybody who ran the softs last session will not be quick here. They will just get that 1 fresh run.
Now, what do you think about Max currently being in the top 10? Now, is this expected, or is this a new revelation? Because we know that Max was pretty quick, but we didn't have enough drivers to fully understand how fast this guy was. And we see him already pulling off into the escape there. Something must have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, I think he's locked up his fronts there a little bit. It is actually a bit of a shock, to be honest. We saw last season he did not have a good one-lap pace. I was especially surprised he managed to out-qualify his teammate. What I will say, though, is his race pace is a lot stronger. He tends to take advantage of early safety cars, VSCs, in order to get onto a longer stint, go really deep into the race.
Really deep on them hards half the time, but maybe he has improved on his strategy. Maybe he might not have done, but we will see in this race. And as we see, AJ cross the line, followed by Edu crossing the line here. Edu does get second with a 1:38.9. These guys are doing the fastest times that we have seen all qualifying. Now with Jeremy Clarkson getting 1:39.1. This is the fastest he has done the whole of qualifying as well. Now, how is it that... Oh, and Farham has crashed, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what we want to see from the new driver. He has been unable to show anything out of qualifying 3, but we know he will start in the top 10. He will just start last off the 10.
Yeah, that's a big disappointment. He was looking quite strong coming into this season. And
unfortunately, we did miss Baclau set a... second with a 1:38.9. These guys are doing the fastest times that we have seen all qualifying. And with Jeremy Clarkson getting 1:39.1. This is the fastest he has done the whole of qualifying as well. Now, how is it that... Oh, and Farham has crashed, ladies and gentlemen. This is not... Get second with a 1:38.9. These guys are doing the fastest times that we have seen all qualifying. Carefully, you will notice that at this point here... Now, how is it that... Oh, and Farham has crashed, ladies and gentlemen! Out of, what is that? Turn. Now, how is it that... Oh! Look at that.
Yeah, no, that is a huge crash.
Yeah, that is a huge crash. Now, the question is, how did he hit that inside wall? Because we know that the curbs on that are fairly far away. Now, how is it that... Oh, and Farham has crashed, ladies and gentlemen! Driving to get second with a 1:30...
Judging by where that is, I think he's just got a bit happy on the acceleration there.
And now we join back to the race. We see Max has just set a banker lap of a 2:15. Incredibly slow. This is the slowest we have seen the whole of quali, but something must have gone wrong yet again. All he knows is that he will not be starting any lower than P8.
Yeah, exactly. They have been quite lucky here.
Now, Mr. Cameron, we actually missed Baclau, setting that fastest lap of 1:38.7. Baclau was actually indeed one of our top drivers in the last season of the pre-league. The pre-league we're talking about is RRL. He was on track to actually be the quickest driver of the league. Now, unfortunately, he did have a little bit of a nightmare in season 1 of Swift Racing League. Do you think he'll be able to bring it back this season?
I haven't seen much change in his consistency, to be honest. He has been getting faster, which will help in his qualifying. If he can then keep it clean in the races, he might do a lot better. He can be absolutely stunning to watch over one lap.
He has actually been getting faster, and for some reason Max is going exceptionally slow. He must be out of fuel. The question is, why did he not pit? Oh, he didn't pit because he got that 1:39.9.
There we go.
And now we only have Rin.
It's good enough to get his name on the board.
Yeah. Unlike a certain Haas driver, but we don't talk about that. Now, looking at Rin here, he now goes onto his hot lap. There is no traffic in front of him, so he's got all that clear air. We know that Rin is a very quick driver. That second seat of McLaren is a very quick driver compared to the first seat of McLaren. Unfortunately, Bashi was not unable to make it into Q1. We already know that he's quick as it is, but he must have been having a very hard time with his track. But Rin may be able to make up for the deficiencies in his team, setting a fastest Sector 1 here. Will he be able to set a fastest Sector 2 and beat Baklau? Or will he be unable to set a fastest Sector 2 and have an unfortunate accident and unable to set a time? Let's see.
Well, the problem with that Rin has is this is his one chance. He hasn't set a lap so far, and he will not get another chance after this. This has to be absolutely perfect.
There is no pressure. We can only hope he's not listening to the stream, because he must be feeling the pressure right now.
Likely to see. Matt's getting out of the way of Baklau there as we come onto the final straight.
As Rin enters Sector 3. And he sets a purple Sector 2. Unbelievable. He is on track right now to get a pole.
This man is absolutely flying here.
But Cloud, AJ, and Ida will have some action at the front with Rin coming in. Because at this point, Sector 3 is basically absolutely nothing but a straight. So he's pretty much guaranteed himself that P1 right now. And he goes P1 with a 138.1. Basically a whole second faster than Edu, the fastest guy on the track. And basically 6/10 faster than Baklau. What do you think about this?
That has completely flipped this on its head. I knew it was going to be quick, but that sort of times, that is incredible.
That is a shock. And you think Mr. Jeremy Clarkson will be looking to get somewhere as high as that, because he was saying prior to this race that this is his for the taking. But we don't see that as the case. He's actually P5 right now, followed by his teammate, who's third.
I've just spotted them on track. I think they're going to be setting up Lenny for a tow here.
This might be the case. It's looking like it might be. They are both, though, on their outlaps, and AJ has some time to improve, but it's 2/10. Will he be able to sap out that extra time? Lenny is actually slowing down. Yes, he does have his penalty. So for him, he actually wants to be as far ahead as possible.
Now, I'm surprised about this because, yes, Lenny has dropped right back.
Yeah, he's
I'm
not
very
looking to
surprised
get
about
that
that.
And he actually does have a red light. What does this mean?
It means he's saving his ERS for this. Oh, we see somebody has spun in Q3. We're seeing a few yellow sectors pop up.
It is Cicero. And he did have a little bit of a spin. We seem to have an intruder upon the race, the black sheep. But nevertheless, we continue.
We're now seeing Cloud come into the pits. He's happy with where he is. Just seen AJ and Jeremy start their laps. It's all looking clean and tidy so far.
Edu actually set a lap and he came second so far, but he's just unable to take it from Rin. Rin is just way too quick right now compared to Edu.
He will have one more lap, but he only has 30% ERS, which is going to seriously hinder him back down the back straight. Yeah, he's backed right off. He's 1.4 seconds slower this lap.
And Edu is he doesn't have the time to be able to set another lap. So this is basically his qualifying over. And we still have 40 seconds left on the timer, ladies and gentlemen. AJ and Jeremy are looking to improve. Will the Aston Martins be able to set a 1-2 for the start of this race? Or will they both be in P4 and P5 respectively?
Just watching AJ come up to the end of Sector 3. He's just coming up to the deadly turn 15. Kept it all clean and tidy through there. He has just had a fuel warning pop up, so it might be getting close.
Oh, and he does have a purple Sector 2. Currently,
I think that might be the game breaking because it doesn't seem that fast. He is 4/10 up, however. So he might be on for a 38.5, which will put him P3 as it stands.
P3, that is correct. And behind him we have Jeremy, so we will switch quickly between them.
Yeah, they are tucked right
and
up
he
to
comes
the wall,
third, with Jeremy now coming in to finish his lap. And he comes fourth. This is P3 and P4 respectively for the Aston Martins. And Baklau is pushed down to P5. The guy who was at the front about to get pole has unfortunately dropped down to P5. There's absolutely nothing he can do about it. And we see Ulipat and Max and Cicero are the only ones remaining on track. Cicero needs to improve. this lap. Otherwise, he is basically out of it for the remainder of Q3.
I'm still in shock, really, about the disparity between the two McLarens. Bashi getting knocked out in Q2.
Yeah, we see Bashi actually got knocked out in Q2, and then the other McLaren just came first. Is Bashi the second driver that will be needed? And Ulpa is unable to improve, coming in 139.0. And Cicero pushes Max down, but Max is about to set his lap. Will Max be able to push Cicero back down to P8 where he belongs, or no? And he does not, unfortunately. Max is starting at the P8, with Farham starting P9 and Cicero P7. This is the spice that we want to see. Cicero, the guy who was actually first, faster than Edu in the pre-season prior to SRL and RRL. He was faster than Edu, but now he is actually coming in P7 2 seasons later.
Yeah, I think that just shows just how much everyone's improved. I think the big winner here is Rin here.
Ren coming
just
in with
that one lap,
absolute...
he's also saved a set of softs as well.
Yes,
so he might have a very spicy stint at the end.
Now, I was not expecting this. I was expecting Edu and AJ to run away with this, and Jeremy maybe third or fourth. I mean, Jeremy's pretty much posted as I expected, but I wonder if he's very disappointed with this.
I don't think he'll be disappointed. It is still P3 on the grid once we take into account AJ's penalty.
Fantastic.
But it will be a blow. It will have got into his head. He will be running he will be shaken. I think he thought he'd be a lot closer.
Yeah, I would be disappointed personally. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main feature, the race that we've all come to watch. I apologize if my microphone has been peaking. That's just because of how enthusiastic I am about this race. We actually join our competitors as they are lining up on the grid. The race will be starting in a couple of seconds here. And I'd just like to take a second to point out our sponsors. Swift Racing League, sponsored by Cos Anime Designs. If your loved ones are into anime, whether it's Naruto, One Piece, Avatar, get them something nice for Christmas. If you look down in the description below, you see a link to Cos Anime Designs. You can get them nice accessories like patches, badges, shirts, everything that you could think of that an anime lover would like. Swift Racing League is powered by Zifford Ltd and is sponsored by Bashi's Music. And the lights are about to go, and it's 5 red lights. And go on, and away they go. Okay, we see Rin on the outside with Edu on the inside of this race. What's going to happen? Is Edu going to go in deep? No, he actually loses almost a position to, he does lose a position to Jeremy, who overtakes nicely. This is where we saw T2 having amazing clashes.
Is through.
But Clow has pushed ahead of Edu. Tier 1 taking it nice and clean.
I think Melon has lost out big time. He's down to 17th.
Down to 17th position. Is this what we want to be seeing? This is not what we want to be seeing for the Ferraris, going down to 17. And we actually see Oates pushed down into 18. And D-Man has actually gone down to last. What could possibly have happened for him? He had a nightmare going into turn 3. And Greeny is out.
Greeny is out.
He has hit the wall on turn number 4. And is this a safety car? Yes, it is a safety car. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined with our first safety car of the race. Just like in Tier 2, Tier 1 has had a safety car lap 1. Will we see any more safety cars, or will this be the only one? We don't know. We'll find out. But D-Man, unfortunately, has managed to see him drop back to pretty much to the back of the grid. But the
Farham is right.
Farham has spun.
Turn 7.
And he does not use reset to track like the good driver that he is. Unfortunately, he has lost his wing, and he will be moving off them mediums, potentially onto new mediums or softs. We don't know.
Both Demand and Farham I expect to come in.
But that's not, ladies and gentlemen, that is not what we expected to see.
I will say, do you know who has had a good start? Fenrir and Rom, they're both up 6 places. Genie is out. Genie is out.
And Genie is out of the race. He was having a hard time. Oh, Genie hit the wall and Farham hit Genie. That is not what you expect to see. Now,
no, exactly.
This is some weird driving going on here, ladies and gentlemen, with our Tier 2 drivers, our Tier 2 graduates doing some jank stuff, I'm not going to lie. But this is interesting. Farham has to dive into the pits. He's already 10 seconds behind.
Yeah,
Almost smashes it
so
into
does
the
the
wall.
man. Here we go. Epic Melon and Ancha both in.
Get second with
As
a
is Fenrir. Fenrir's had a
1:38.9.
wing
These
change
guys
as
are
well.
doing the fastest
Yeah,
times that
so
we have
many,
seen
wing changes
all
going around.
qualifying.
This is a
And with
big
Jeremy
hole
Clarkson
for
getting
Adja. He's not gonna like
1:39.1.
this.
This is the fastest he has done the whole of qualifying as well. Now, how is it that... Oh, and Farham has crashed, ladies and gentlemen. This is not get second with a 1:38.9. These guys are doing the fastest times that we have seen all qualifying. And with Jeremy Clarkson getting... but we did see from qualifying Farham hitting the wall, and then we saw him again hitting Genie. Now, Farham has been held in the pits for hitting Genie, even though he was stood still. Cameron, is this what you expected to see, or is this just been a...
Not at all. No, that was very chaotic. We've seen a lot of movement in the midfield. The only people that have stayed the same is Rin for leading away on pole, and Cicero and AJ. No, Cicero and Ulipat.
Yeah, we did
Everyone
have
else has
a
moved.
big upset in the top 10, actually. So Edu dropped from second down to fourth, but you think of the restart he'll be able to bring it back?
I'm not sure. I'm genuinely curious to see. If he gets a good launch, he might be right up there, but he does have a lot of work now to get through those guys in front.
We have seen Edu, though, absolutely demolish drivers before. In these sort of situations, whereas in the middle of the pack, he just sort of seems to cut through them a little bit like Hamilton does, but, you know, more majestic.
Yeah, we've got to love our Kimi Räikkönen replacement. No, I'm curious to see if Lenny drops back from Rin. I think Rin's going to just bolt away at the restart.
Yeah, Rin might do a very quick movement to lead.
And
Farham
Farham
is out of the race. What could possibly have happened? And he must have hit the wall on that straight. What's going on? He is in the middle of a straight and he's out. I wonder if he had front wing damage and was unable to turn and got understeer. But in fact, this may actually increase the length of the safety car.
It might do. I expect it to go to lap 4 anyhow. In which case, it should be cleared by then. But what it will do is just give a little bit of breathing to the guys on the softs.
Yes,
Max, Ulipat.
They may gain an extra 2 or 3 laps out of this.
Oh, Epic Melon has spun.
And Jorn de Boer is backwards. It's just leaving some space for Adja to come past. He's
about to see a 100-point turn here. He's got completely stuck here.
Against the rules, so he has to do that. I don't think he understands how to blip the engine to make that spin, but he did it nonetheless. Now we rejoin the rest of the pack. What do you think is going through Epic's mind right now?
Honestly, I think if he's doing the smart thing, he'll be just trying to calm down, get back in the race, and then make some moves on the restart. However, we do know he can get a little hot-headed at times, so we might see a few rash dive bombs here and there.
That would be very interesting to see. Now, I wonder if Epic must be kicking himself, because he did actually, he was actually pretty high at the start of the race, but now he's actually dropped down quite a bit.
Yeah, he was up to P10. He decided P10, moved forwards. So yeah, he's got a lot of work for him now.
It's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. You see right now we have the 2 views. You're seeing the onboard of Epic Melon as well as the start the front of the grid. This is our new special feature called the split view screen. You will be seeing a lot of this. It is a little bit buggy, but we're working on it. But nonetheless, it is very good to see. Now, safety car is not in this lap. Looking at another lap of safety car. Unless I missed something. Did I miss something? I must have missed something.
Nope, this safety car in this lap. You see everyone bunching up. They're still weaving.
Yes, it is in this lap. Okay, let's watch.
And Rin is gone. Rin is gone. Lenny is gone with him.
Started to go. Now the safety car is in the pits, and nobody slowed down like we saw in Tier 2. And we see on the Jeremy does not go for the dive, but we see no one go for the dive. In fact, everyone is keeping it very nice and ordered. Oh, the two Alpines, the Aston Martin's actually fun. No,
Here we go.
it is Mercedes and
Lenny and
Aston
McLeod.
Martin. Rominator has spun and he's out of the race, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what we want to see from Rominator. He did say he will be on the aggressive attack, but unfortunately he has been unable to make it out of lap 4.
And McLeod is up to second place.
McLeod is up to second place.
And he's looking all over the back of Rin.
This is
Then
a
he's just
very
tucked up behind
big
him.
upset. This is a very big upset from what we had at the start. And Jorn now comes out of the pits. McLeod setting a faster sector 2. Which is not very surprising as we've had basically no laps of racing so far. Cameron, who's in your top to win this race?
I
so far?
still put my money on Rin. Friday,
Money's on
keep
Rin.
it out of the walls. My money's on Rin here. I think we're going to see Edu move forward, so I think he's going to... It just depends how quickly he can get through Lenny and McLeod.
Now, Rin does have the speed, 1 lap speed advantage on Edu, but Edu is the more consistent driver from what we've seen previously.
You know who's impressed me though? Cicero has moved right up from his qualifying spot.
And Oatley has spun. His back was on the track. He's lost his front wing. Now, Oates did tell us that he will, be driving like an ace this season, and we are just not seeing it so far.
We've seen a Williams go off at turn 1. Williams off at turn 1.
Williams has got off at turn 1, and that is Ulipat with no front wing right now. He's going to have to take it slow and steady. As they may have said, slow and steady wins the race, but we are racing Formula 1 cars, so you got to go fast.
Exactly. Fortunately, we're just starting to see AJ drop back from the top 4 there. But meanwhile, Edu has got past Lenny and is tucked right up now behind McLeod.
Now, it is a little bit early for team orders, but do you think Jeremy and AJ will be thinking of a plan right now?
I think they may be starting to think about splitting up their strategies, but I don't think there'll ever be a change. Oh, so we see McLeod getting a bit twitchy there. I don't think there's going to be any swapping going on there, not unless it comes later in the race.
We do know that AJ and Jeremy are on different tyres, so there may be a separate... No, they're on the same tyre, in fact. When did this happen?
Both of them did make it through on the mediums, just.
I must have missed it.
No, they have, but AJ is just not managing to maintain the pace of the top 4. Or even the top 3, really.
This is very different from what we saw in Q2, actually. Now AJ
is caught right up now. Yeah, they're going to swap here. They have to.
Is Jeremy going to get nicely out of the way, or are they going to battle it into turn 1? Yep.
Surprised about this. They are battling. They're going side by side. There we go. Just tucked in.
Is that really what you want to be seeing from your teammate? Especially this
Not
early
really.
into a race where we know that people will crash out.
No, I don't think it is. I think they need to now push up to Edo, and they need to work together to do that. They're 1.7 seconds off at the moment.
Yeah.
But also, we do see Rin has bolted. Rin has absolutely bolted. He's nearly 2 seconds up the front.
He's managed to get that gap on McLeod. That is...
Normally with those top guys, we see them just form an absolute massive train. Maybe have 3-4 tenths between them. To see a gap 2 seconds from the top guys, that's huge, especially this quickly.
This is very different from what we saw last season. Especially with a lot of these new drivers. Especially with a lot of these new drivers. I mean, as expected, we did expect some of our Tier 2 graduates to have a little bit of a hard time. But we do see Adcha and D-Man nicely nestled into the mid-pack. D-Man's pretty much bringing up the rear of the mid-pack, and Adcha is bringing up the almost the rear of the mid-pack as well. Now,
I think we're going to see a move here from Bashi as well. He's tucked right up behind Cicero here.
Getting on board with Bashi. The two controller drivers, the new controller driver and the old controller driver. We know that Bashi has a hard time on the street tracks, and Cicero has an easy time on the street tracks. And Bashi is side by side with Cicero. He gets a nice overtake. Cicero is going to use that slipstream from Bashi to maybe try and get him back going into turn 2 on the second DRS straight. Will Cicero be able to make anything out of this, or is he just going to get lost behind Bashi?
I think he's a bit too far back now to make the move.
Turn 2 really did screw him over on that time, but he does seem to be getting back them tenths. But he is now down to 0.7. Bashi is just running away with this at this point. In fact, Cicero is actually starting to lose time to the car behind. Fenry is in DRS range, slowly making up the seconds on Cicero.
Yeah, I think they might form a bit of a train here behind Cicero now.
Looking back, and did Jeremy pit? He's actually dropped down to P11.
I think he probably has. Yes, he has pit.
He has done his 1 pit. Now, do you think Max will end up holding him up, or is he going to use Max's to get that slipstream, maybe tuck in nice behind him and get carried a little bit? Or do you think Max is just a little bit too slow for Jeremy?
I think Lenny's going to try and make the move as fast as he can. He does not want to get held here.
He needs that clean air, especially with these kind of cars. You need that clean air.
That is a very early move, though. We're only on lap 7, so...
And we see Fenry has made up a lot of time to Cicero, and Cicero has lost almost 2 seconds to Bashi. That is kind of strange to see. But Fenry is up on the inside of Cicero going into turn 1. What is going to happen? And he gets a nice overtake here. Cicero is just dropping time like God knows how. This man was wanting to race in tier 2. He's slightly just too fast for tier 2. But Cicero is in the competition in tier 1, and behind him is D-Man, his fellow teammate. They are both reserves.
I think Cicero's going to come back at... He's coming back at Fenry here.
And he
Going
goes
around the
in.
outside into 3. Oh, this is going to be tight. This is tight.
Fenry leaves the
Just
space,
got it
and
slowed
Cicero is
down.
unable to make it stay.
He's coming back into 4, though. They've tapped. Oh, that was close. That was
Fenry
very close.
leaving a lot of space. He did cause Cicero to slow down quite a bit, though. You think Cicero will be able to make this time back?
I think he's got the pace here, especially if he can stay within the DRS.
But he's
Interesting
on
though, he
edge
did
of
just
the
tap the side pod and had a little bit of a slide there.
You think this man has any damage?
I don't think so. No, he's closed right back up now to Fenry.
Yeah, Fenry had a horrible line through castle section.
Yeah, he turned it very late. What we do see now is the man is right behind him now. They've got very close.
There'll be team orders here though, because D-Man has been slowly catching up to Cicero and Fenry after his incident near the beginning laps. But Cicero's just not quick enough. He may actually end up holding down D-Man.
Yeah, I think we might see a bit of teamwork, but I don't necessarily think team orders. It might just be a case of not defending.
Cicero is out of the DRS range, and his rear wing is closed, very much closed. And this is not what you want to be seeing, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new thing. Starting today, Cicero being overtaken by D-Man. This is highly unexpected. You could have asked him last season and he would tell you D-Man would be nowhere near close enough. But D-Man is overtaking Cicero, and he may actually end up escaping, catching up to Fenry. Fenry had a horrible time during turn 1 and turn 2.
Well, Fenry
lost almost a second, and D-Man is just catching and gaining time.
This is a great battle to watch on board. I'm watching on board. Fenrir is actually out of energy as well. He has completely drained the battery to defend against these two. I think we're going to see a couple of moves here in the next few laps with the Mercedes.
Very interested to see from the tier 2 graduate. Well, I keep saying tier 2 graduate. He is a reserve. But at this point, it may be up to the tier 1 admins if they want to move D-Man into tier 1, because he has been showing phenomenal performance compared to his last season performance.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, this is currently over P5 as it stands. It's looking interesting. We'll see though. Baclau has also come in, and he has dropped a long way now behind Lenny. That undercut was absolutely huge. But judging by the strategy he's put on the hard, so he's going to the ends. I was not expecting to see this.
Now, is this a mistake from Baclau?
I don't think it's going to be a mistake, but it's going to leave him very vulnerable at the end.
think, because McLaren was actually up for P3.
He was running in P2 at the time, but now he's been undercut by Lenny.
Yeah, so this may cost him quite a bit, but we'll see how it plays out. He may generally have no other tyres left to use.
I don't think it's a case of him not having any tyres, but I think he will just be trying to go to the end now. But he needs to catch up to Lenny. There we go. As we see, Lenny actually sets the fastest lap of the race.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Once he got ahead of Max, he just started storming away. Now, this is time where we open up our chat for the viewers. Those who have anything they want to say and want us to talk about quickly, this is your chance to quickly type it in. We actually see Green is actually raging in the chat here. And Farham is saying that his game froze while he was racing. Now, is this a believable statement for Farham?
It would certainly explain what happens, because it was a very strange place.
Yeah, it was a very strange place to spin up. Going into the turn of P15. Sorry, turn 15.
Oh, Ulipat is out. Ulipat is
out. That is shocking to see. What has happened here? We're going to join actually Epic.
And we have a full safety car. We have a full safety car. This is why I said you don't want to go on the hards.
Oh, that is an odd place to spin out.
That is a very strange place.
That is a... How...
The only thing I can think of is he's either tried to hold a spin, or he's tapped the wall on the right there.
And we're going to see if you can...
oh, Ulipat is out. Ulipat is out. I expect those hard runners going to come in for some fresh mediums if they can.
We're just going to watch that replay, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Ulipat is out.
This man has managed to spin out on that corner. As you see, placed in the top left of the screen. You see, that is an odd place facing sideways, almost backwards on a straight line. Now, what could possibly have caused that? As Mr. Cameron suggested, spin out. Could have just
spin out. There is a chink in the wall there, so if he was running close to that, he could have fired him across the track. Ulipat is out. I think he just lost the car there.
What is happening?
Pushing a little bit too hard. And we have a full safety car. We have a full safety. This is why I said you don't want to go on the hards.
Ulipat was... Oh, that is an odd place to spin out. Strong, but he had that
is a very strange place.
Lap 2, I think it was. I kind of dropped him to the back.
Oh, Ulipat is out. Ulipat is out.
That is shocking to see. What has happened?
Interesting though, I would say, this route, and we have a full safety car. We have a full safety. This is why I said you don't want to go on the hards. He's going to go very deep, and I expect to put another set of softs on at the end. Rin, Edo, and AJ all taking advantage under this safety car. Oh, Ulipat is out. Ulipat is out.
That is shocking to see. What has happened here? Everyone apart.
And we have a full safety car. We have a full safety. This is why I said you don't want to go on the hards. Losers here are Jeremy Clarkson. That is a very strange place. He's back down to 10th. He is on the softs, and I dare say we'll try and shout close to the end. Ulipat is out. Yeah, he came in.
That is shocking to see. What has happened here? We're going to join
that's painful. And we have a full safety car. We have a full safety. This is why I said you don't want to go on the hard.
I'm on the wrong screen this whole time. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is now the second safety car of Tier 1. Now, at this time in Tier 2, we had 4 safety cars. So this is a very big improvement. And we still have the vast majority of the grid alive, still racing.
Still on track.
Yeah. And we may have actually just been joined by Genie and Greenie. Now, Genie, question to you, Mr. Man. So, Genie, what caused you to have your unfortunate set of events going on in Q2 and in Q1, I believe it was?
So, sorry. Q1, I just said a last lap. It was just dumb. Like Q2, I just made mistakes on my own. I just broke my wing and stuff. It was just my consistency on Baku. Baku is one of my worst tracks. I like straight tracks in general. A few of my worst tracks. Worst tracks. But at the start, I got past D-Man and Hatcher. And then I didn't expect Greenie to go around the outside of D-Man before the turn. And so I tried to get the outside line into turn one, but Greeny was right beside my, like his wing, or sorry, his left front was right beside my side pod, and because of that, I didn't expect him, and I went into the wall, clipped my wing,
So
and then after that, with the
you blame
sorry?
you blame your wing
It was-
clipping on Greeny then?
No, it was not on Greeny. So basically, this was just an unfortunate race from my end. Like it was just terrible from my side. After that, a couple of mistakes again on that straight, on the back straight. I guess Rom and I were like trying to go wheel to wheel, but I think Rom's AI was literally trying to. Rom was just pushing me into the wall, and I tried to like nudge him back. And while doing so, I kind of slightly missed my braking zone, and also Farham was lagging, so I just what he said, just punted Farham a bit into the wall, so he lost his wing. And after that, Romy again was too aggressive. I mean, he tried to be defensive going into turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And Greeny was ahead of him, but he was on the outside going into the turn. And so I tried to go on the inside of Romy as well, but I missed. I didn't turn enough, and I basically punted Romy into Greeny, and Greeny DNF that way. Just terrible racing from my end.
So kerfuffle between you and Greeny then, essentially you DNF'd each other.
I DNF myself. I didn't have a wing after that, and I just misjudged how much speed I was carrying, and I barely just clipped the wall, on that wall where I crashed, and yeah, my wheel was off.
Well, we've seen a lot of people actually crash from clipping the walls. Do you think, Greeny, this is a question to you, do you think ghosting has had a big effect? Oh, and we're off after the safety car. Completely wasn't paying attention, too busy talking. Absolutely. Oh, and an Aston Martin is round, and Jeremy Clarkson, he's going to be kicking himself. He is off. He's backwards.
Yeah, it looks like he kept out on the wall though.
Yeah, he seems to have no damage on him, but he must be kicking himself hard. Because this
Yeah,
is
he's
not
6
what
seconds
he
off.
expected. Now, is Edu going to be on the attack onto Rin?
And
Because-
AJ's out.
And
AJ's
AJ
out.
is out as well.
We're right
that
on board. He's just gone straight. Oh, and Adcher's
my
round as well.
And Adcher is
Really?
out. Oh my goodness, this is not what you expect. The Aston Martins have had a horrible restart on the safety car.
They've gone from looking very strong to very bad. You know who is looking good?
And
McLaren,
Fenry is out as
The
well.
Rin's McLaren.
Is Fenry out? What's going on?
No,
Oh, he's disconnected.
McLaren.
He just disconnected.
Yep,
See
he's
if he will
back in the race.
reconnect.
Oh my
You'll know who
god.
it is come out this strong. McLaren, they're first and third. They've
Oh,
really turned that qualifying around.
Bashi's having a hell of a race so far.
Yeah, he had a
Oh, yeah.
horrible.
He started
qualifying.
11th.
Starting
amazing.
11, he tore through Cicero like there was no tomorrow, and has basically made his. And
Oh,
Baclau is out,
Cicero's
ladies.
out.
and-
Baclau and
Cicero's
Cicero out of
Oh
one
my
go.
goodness! Oh,
That was
and
spectacular.
D-Man has lost his front wing. I believe what may have happened is that going into that corner, Baclau hit the
Baclau
corner,
hit the wall.
and then
Yes, he
Cicero
did.
hit
Sorry.
Baclau.
Yeah, Cicero clean into the back of him.
Let's see if
I'm
we
just
can get
watching-
a replay of this.
I'm watching the stream and trying to figure out what's going on. Oh my
He's
god.
out,
This
ladies.
is terrible
Baclau
place
and
for both of
Cicero
them
is
to be in.
oh my
Look,
goodness! Replay, Oh,
Oh.
see that? Actually, if you look carefully, ladies and gentlemen, you notice that D-Man actually does a wall coming out of the
Cicero
Cicero.
is
Oh
out.
my
Right.
goodness!
Oh.
He lost Oh, his front wing and he was already off. And we see that Baclau must have hit the wall first, and Cicero must have hit into Baclau. We
That
know
was
and D-Man has
spectacular.
lost
Cicero
his
shout,
front wing.
"Oh, I
I
hate you,
believe what
Baclau."
may have happened is that another
bit
going
of
into that
feud going on
corner,
between them.
Baclau hit the
Baclau
corner,
hit the wall.
and then
Yes, he
Cicero
did.
hit.
Baclau came at Cicero.
Is out.
Cicero
ladies
had
and-
last season.
Baclau and
Cicero's
just
out.
being
Oh
better
my
than him.
goodness.
And
Oh,
Cicero
oh.
is now trying to gain back
That
his
was
lead.
And D-Man has
spectacular.
lost
I was
his front wing.
brought,
I
Jeremy
believe
back
what
into
may have
this.
happened is that going
He's now
into that
brought right
corner,
back up to the pack.
Baclau hit the
Baclau
corner,
hit the
and
wall.
then
Yes, he
Cicero
did.
hit
Sorry.
Baclau.
I
Is
believe
out.
D-Man
ladies and-
from all
Baclau
the
and
Q2 races
Cicero's
I've
out.
driven against
Oh
D-Man
my
is one
goodness.
that's really
Oh,
fucking
oh.
improved. Baku especially is one of
That
his
was
fastest
spectacular.
D-Man has
He's very
lost his front wing.
inconsistent in
I
races.
believe
Like, he
what may
makes a
have
lot of
happened is
mistakes.
that
Obviously,
going
coming
into
from
that
me,
corner,
it's a bit funny, but
Baclau hit the
Baclau
corner,
hit the wall.
and then
Yes, he
Cicero
did.
hit
Sorry.
Baclau.
Yeah, we have noticed
Is
that he
out,
struggled
ladies.
a bit in the last
And
qualifying session
Cicero's
as
out.
well.
Oh my goodness!
What we have seen though, yeah, he's
That
just
was
had a
And
few
D-Man
mistakes
has
here and there with
lost
his
his front wing.
racecraft.
I believe what may have
If
happened is that
D-Man
going
here.
into that corner,
D-Man gets his- if-
Baclau hit the
Baclau
corner,
hit the
If
wall.
D-Man
Yes,
improves
he
his
did.
racecraft, he's
is
gonna
out,
his
ladies
pace past, I think.
Baclau and
Like,
Cicero is out.
he
Oh
can
my
solidify
goodness.
himself.
Oh,
In tier 1,
That was
he
and
will
spectacular.
D-Man has
not
lost his
next
front wing. I believe what may have
Yeah,
happened
he-
is
I mean-
that going into that
he
corner,
could. If he improves on his
Baclau hit
racecraft,
the
Baclau
corner,
hit the wall.
and then
Yes, he did.
Cicero
one of the
hit
games he lacked on
Baclau.
his racecraft.
Is out,
Cicero
ladies
had-
and
I think DMC is still
Baclau
showing the
Cicero
weakness
is
of
out.
him.
Oh my goodness.
On the screen.
Oh,
I mean, we do have our mid-season transfers, so he might be one to watch there. Curious to see who he transfers to, though.
Looks like Adcher has gone up to 6 lap-old mediums.
Yeah, it was the only
DMC,
thing
I
he
think
had
he stopped the
available.
review. Yeah.
Now, why did he not go? Was he already on the hards or?
Yes, he had put the hards on, so I think he's chucked on a set of mediums that will now go to the end. There's 10 laps remaining, so the mediums can easily go, and they will still be faster than the hards.
So this set of safety cars are actually, and the losses of front wings that he's had have actually screwed up his strategy horribly. But he's still
Yeah.
in the race, he's in the top 10, so this is guaranteed points for him.
Providing he can finish lap
Providing
24.
he can finish. But honestly, Archer, if he does lack pace, I think he still tries to, he compensates that with his racecraft. It's better than most of the tier 2 drivers I know. He can still survive. He's just been unlucky in every time I've raced against him. Everyone else around him has crashed into him. But I think Archer, if he just keeps it on the track, it'll be really surprising that he comes out with points out of everyone. That is.
And we've heard it here from one of his rivals, ladies and gentlemen, the tier 2 graduate Genie is saying that Adcher may actually be a phenomenal driver if he just keeps it clean, basically.
Yeah, be one to watch as we move forwards into the race.
Now the question is, will D-Man's penalty cause him an issue, or will he be able to take it as a champ and actually get ahead that his penalty won't be a factor in his finishing position?
I think he's going to really struggle to break 3 seconds and move forwards. We're also joined here by Baclau. Baclau, what happened? Turn 15. Take us through it.
No wing. No front wing at all. No wing. I just broke. I locked my front wing. I locked both of my fronts, and I went into the wall.
Now, do you know what
that's-
happened between yourself and Cicero?
Did you see that?
Well, I was at the wrong time at the wrong place, and he was so, and so was him, and the rest of the grid behind him.
And you think that he just hit you, unfortunately, or was?
Nah,
was
that
there
was
a bit of-
unfortunate. Yeah, no. Like,
It was after the
close.
corner.
He was close. Yeah, he was just close.
Here we go. We also see the safety car in this lap.
Safety car in
It's
the
like
lap.
Rin is
Now let's
backing
see.
them right back.
I was
He
on
may
for
be
the
doing some,
podium, man.
He may be doing some tactics here, because he must be very annoyed. He was escaping Edu at one point, then a safety car came out, and then he escaped Edu again. And then another safety car came out, and now they're right behind each other.
We'll see how he goes with
And he's
this.
away.
Altered.
Will any of these cars be able to get into the... and
Oh, Edu's looking. Bashi's looking.
and retreats off, and we see Oatley actually drop a few places going into
The
that
Ferraris
corner.
have switched. The Ferraris have switched.
The Ferraris have switched, and
D-Man has overtook Oatley.
So is that an
and
just had a double
Adcher is
overtake?
gaining a lot of time right now, just because of the unfortunate series of events that is going on with Max
Yep.
and D-Man and Oatley. They are side by side with the Ferrari, just trying to defend on him. Will he defend again and go into this corner? And he does. And Max has to sit in behind him. Now see, Jeremy
Wait,
Clarkson
Oakley's still
actually
in this
has
race?
gained a bit of time, gained a few places.
Yeah, they formed a bit of a train up at the front now.
Now, is Jeremy Clarkson going to use this situation to his advantage? He is now onto the hards. He wasn't on the hards before, he was on mediums. But he's on fresh hards compared to everybody else. Will he be able to use this to his advantage, or will he be unable? And we see Edu is slowly losing time onto Rin. Rin is just making up these seconds from out of nowhere, and Bashi is within the second on Edu. Will he still be within the second when DRS comes back, or will he be out of it? Maybe Edu may end up actually third out of this situation.
I don't think so. I think Bashi's dropping back a little bit quicker there from Edu. I think it's now going to be a 2-horse. Yeah, we just seen Bashi drop out of that second.
He is
I think
out
it's
of
going to
that
be a
DRS
2-horse race to the second.
Bash is now exposed actually from behind. We see Fenry has actually made it within to the half of the second. He's only got one more lap until DRS is back and activated. I feel like it's activated at the end of this lap, isn't it?
No, it's after the next lap.
It's after the next lap, so he has to
I
keep
don't even.
within a
I
second.
don't even think we're going to need to wait that long. I think Fenrir's just going to cruise past here. He's looking a bit racy now on those mediums.
Edu is almost a second out of Rin. Rin is just getting away with this, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we want to see from the new driver. Rin is just driving away. Edu has nothing to show for him. He's slowly losing time to Bashi, as Bashi has now gone from 1.5 seconds to just 1 second over 2 corners. And Edu is slowly losing time. I wonder if he's really annoyed or if he's just really confused about what's going on.
I think a bit of both. Bashi's closed right back up to him here.
And Jorn de Boer has actually managed to bring himself a little bit back.
I think we're going to see a DRS train here forming.
Yeah, definitely may see a DRS train. It's actually Jorn is seeing himself being attacked from behind by Jeremy. Jeremy is very close, going into the turn after the castle section. Jorn has a slide. Jeremy is able to get into attacking distance.
We've got
He's
a run
on
here.
the
We've got
inside. And Jeremy is side by side with Jorn and gets ahead of Jorn. But will Jorn... Oh, and he backs off going into the corner. That is a smart move. But we'll be able to get him back now because Jeremy went a little bit deep.
Well, Jeremy's out of DRS anyway, so he won't even get anything to defend next lap.
Yes, and Jeremy's actually on the fresh hards and Jorn is on old mediums, I believe. We can actually test this.
There won't be any change. There won't be any difference in performance now. It's straight fight.
Let's see if we can get some information on these tires. Yeah, Jorn is on 7-lap tires and Jeremy's on 4-lap tires. He's unable to actually get past him with overtake and slipstream. Jeremy must be dropping his ERS just to keep him back.
Jeremy's very low on ERS.
Yeah, he's... Ooh. Squeezes him right to the edge of the track there.
Side by side, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and there's contact, but nothing happens. There's no damage. But Jeremy is a little bit all over the track. The DRS allows Epic to... Jorn de Boer to just gain that speed.
Easy
pass. It's a nice overtake. Now, obviously, Jeremy just has the better racing ability than Epic Melon. So will he be able to keep within the second to get him back on the start-finish straight? Or is Epic just going to drop him?
Bashi is close right back into Edo. He's back within the second.
Yeah. Fenry is actually stayed within the second here.
Yeah.
He's managed to keep his time gap fairly consistent. I wonder if
those mediums are quick.
Yeah, those mediums are quick, but they may drop because Fenry is on 6. No, Fenry is on 6-lap mediums and Bashi's on 6-lap hards.
Yeah, so we won't see anything till the end of the race. I will say that Adja, even though he's on the dead mediums, he's close right up to Lenny here. He's now with second.
We're going to go back into the split screen view. Let's see if we can get any nice views out of this. And give it a second to load up. If it loads anytime soon.
We're right on board. I'm watching Lenny. We have Adja behind. Here we go.
Let's see, Fenry is actually attacking Bashi now with the ERS. Is not even in DRS. Now he's in DRS range. He's on the DRS attack. And Bashi just has absolutely nothing to defend with. He's just dropping behind.
I think they may be playing it smart here and just try and get the toe for a few laps.
Bashi may actually have damage. I don't know. Oh, and he almost loses it into the corner.
Yeah, he's dropped back a long way there.
And Edu is now 2 seconds behind Rin. Rin is just getting away with this. Edu has absolutely nothing to give him, losing time every single lap. Is this what we expected to see from the guy who actually won the last season?
This is apparently Rin's best track, so honestly...
Yeah, it is. Rin is incredibly quick here.
And Bashi and I, on the call, we were watching Rin's lap. We were clapping. That was an outstanding lap from him in Q3, so...
And now Jeremy is on the attack on Jorn de Boer. Now, Genie, with what you were saying with Rin, do you think Rin will be able to... Jeremy slides a little bit, loses a bit of time. He's now almost out of DRS range from Jorn de Boer. Genie, do you think Rin will be able to keep up this speed through the rest of the season?
The rest of the season, only time will tell. But I feel like he is going to be one of the competitors for everyone. I mean, all the front runners. I guess even he might even give Cameron. I mean, Cameron's not even racing, but he might give Cameron a run for his money.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here for the first time from the man Genie himself that Cameron may be in trouble of being overtaken by Rin out of pure pace. But Cameron, what do you say to that, Mr. Cameron?
I think if
Man is
this is
going
his
for
best
me.
track, then we should be safe.
D-Man is going for a move.
And D-Man goes for a move on Adger around the outside. They are side by side. D-Man gives Adger a squeeze, and Adger is not going to be happy about that. He actually may have contacted the wall. And he gets a
D-Man needs to
little bit
keep
of
it
a slide.
clean.
He's in the DRS range, but it's just sliding all around.
D-Man needs to keep it clean.
Now
Come
he's
on.
actually going to go for a dive, and D-Man, no, he stays it far back.
He's had a little snap there.
He is
D-Man
on 11 lap
pushing
tyres, and D-Man is on 7 lap tyres. D-Man may just be able to escape away from Adger. Adger may have to pit pretty quickly, actually, if he doesn't want to be attacked by Ocean behind.
I'm pretty surprised that Axe is still keeping up with D-Man because I thought that D-Man would have the outright pace here, even on those, even with the pressure tires.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we may end up seeing a battle between Max and Oatley. Max is within 0.5 of a second on Oatley. Oatley, while he is still alive, he's just not living up to what he said he would be able to do. Coming in 9th here, just because of everyone else having DNF. Now, Ginny, do you think Oates would be in 9th if the remainder of the drivers were still, around?
Not DNF'd? No, he wouldn't have. I still think he wouldn't have because I think the only person, in my opinion, who had the pace here was D-Man. Like, maybe race consistency, maybe if Rini hadn't crashed, he could have made it. But I do not think Oatley would have been able to grab points if the Klaus, Cicero, and all the rest of the front runners had not DNF'd.
Now, Green, what do you think about this this revelation coming out of Genie? We actually see Bashi have a little bit of a slide. He's losing time to F.
Yeah, he's dropped back into that pack there.
I mean, I wasn't really listening.
Aye.
I
Okay.
was watching that.
And
What we are
Bashi
seeing is now a three-way fight for 4th place. We have
Yeah, Bashi
Jeremy
is-
Clarkson, Epic Melon, and Bashi leading them away. It's close right back. It's within half a second for all 3 of them.
Mac is
He
right.
does seem to be making a lot of mistakes, though. The Bashi
I
bit
think
out
he's
there.
burnt through his tyres now. He did
He's
come
on-
in one of
He's
the
on
early
9
ones.
laps tires. Epic Melon actually has older tires in it. Maybe it's a setup, just not liking the hards. But he's sliding around every single corner. Do you think this may actually cause him a problem? He may actually end up going into one of the walls.
I don't think he's going to go into the walls, but I do think he's going to get overtaken here. Be it in the next few laps. I don't think he's going to hold on to the end of the race now.
He's just throwing the car in every corner he goes. Is that frustration that's kicking in for Melon? Do you think?
No, I think it's just those tyres have hit the cliff now.
Now, I wonder what is going to happen between these 3 drivers as we see them go now into the start-finish straight. Jeremy may not actually be able to make much out of his DRS, but both of them will definitely gain on Bashi. Bashi just
Here we
has
go.
absolutely nothing
We have a
to
run
use.
from Epic Melon here.
Bashi still
Bear's
has the
taking the
DRS,
outside.
but I
He's
believe
gone
he
to the
may be
outside.
saving it. Now, if Jeremy is smart,
Yeah,
he can
he's
just stay
tucked in
back
behind.
a little bit and be able to use the next DRS to get Bashi and maybe Epic Melon. Or it depends if he gets
There
the
we
traction
go.
out of this corner. He's unable to plant it like the 2 guys have, and his DRS will be nothing for him. But Bashi is also unable to actually even do anything with his DRS. I believe Jorn may be dumping his ERS to just stay out of Bashi's DRS.
Yeah, he has used just a little bit there. But I think he's going to try and use this in the infield section now just to try and break away a little bit.
Adcher has
Now-
pitted as well, and I believe Max is fun.
Oh, and we see
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Letty.
was
Then he's taken the
unable to do
outside.
anything out of that corner. And Gets a tight squeeze. Bashi squeezing Lenny on the outside.
gonna be
What is going to
too
happen
wide
into
into
the
the
castle?
castle
Is anyone going to...
section.
No one... Oh my goodness! That is not what you wanted to see. None of them wanted
still
to
going,
relent.
he's still
None of
going.
them wanted to give him, and Bashi made it into the wall. That is not what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Cameron, what do you think about that crash that happened right there from Bashi and Lenny? And
Bashi
Demon-
survived. What the hell?
That was a huge case of neither wanted to give way.
Now, if you
Aksha
look at
has
this
hit it as
replay, we
well,
actually
and I
see it
believe
side by
he's
side.
gone.
We see
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Lenny. Then he's taking the outside.
anything out of that corner.
going into that corner.
Gets
just
a
before the
tight
castle
squeeze.
section.
Bashi
And
squeezing
you have
Lenny
the
on the
safety car.
outside.
This is
What is
gonna
going
be
to
too
happen
wide
to
into
the
the
castle?
castle
Is anyone
section.
going to...
Right
No
about now,
one...
but he's got to bring it in.
Oh
Lenny's
my
just there, he has
goodness!
nowhere to
That
go,
is
and
not
Bashi
what...
just hits him.
Aksha
That-
has hit
that
it
Yeah,
as
it's a
well,
little
and I
bit of
believe
contact
he's
there.
gone.
Overseas Bashi
Here comes Lenny.
was
Now he's taking the
unable to
outside
do
and make the
anything out of that
corner here.
Yeah, I mean,
Gets a
even
tight
though they were going
squeeze,
side by
Bashi
side, I think
squeezing
Bashi
Lenny on
should
the
have
This is
outside.
going to be
backed
too
What
out
is going to
there.
wide
happen
into
into
the
the castle?
castle
Is anyone
section.
going to...
How-
No one...
I don't know what he was
Oh
gonna
my
do
goodness!
by going
That
on
is
the
not
outside
what...
of the corner, like the
Aksha has
castle
hit it
section.
as well,
It's a
and I
bit
believe
weird.
Yeah, that
he's
move
gone.
was so.
Overseas
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Lenny.
was
Then he's taking the
unable to
outside.
do
This is
anything
going
out
to
of
be
that
a
corner.
straight
Everybody's
stop.
going into the-
Gets a
Everybody
tight
is
squeeze.
in.
Bashi
Everybody's going to the-
squeezing Lenny on the outside.
gonna be
What is going to
too
happen
wide
into
into
the
the
castle?
castle
Is anyone
section.
gonna- No one... Oh my goodness! That is not what you
You
guys
guys completely
Aksha has
lose
hit
it
it as well,
going
and I
into
believe
turn
he's
one.
It needs to push.
Overseas
Oh,
Bashi
here comes
was
Lenny. Then he's
unable
taking
to
the
do
outside
anything
straight
out of
to
that
end.
corner.
This is going to be crazy.
Gets a tight
This
squeeze
is
from Bashi
very now.
squeezing Lenny on the outside.
gonna be too-
What is going
too
to happen
wide
into
into
the
the
castle?
castle
Is
section.
no one... Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he
That is
held
not
in the
what...
pits there. That was.
Aksha has hit
And
it
we're
as
still
a
on the
well.
really
safety
tough
car
break.
position, so the restart is going to be
Overseas
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Lenny.
was going
Then
to
he's
be
taking the
unable to do
outside.
anything out of that
Out
corner.
back. A
Gets
fist fight
a
right
tight
now.
squeeze. Bashi squeezing Lenny on the
This is
outside.
going to be too,
What is going to
too
happen
wide
into
into
the
the
castle?
castle
Is anyone
section.
going to... No one... Oh my goodness! That is not what...
bit.
What position did crash
Aksha
out
has
at?
hit it as well. and I
Yep, they
believe
just have to
he's
complete
gone.
2
Oh,
more
overseas
laps.
Bashi
Here comes Lenny.
was
Then he's taking the
unable to
outside.
do anything
24.
out of that corner. He gets a tight squeeze. Bashi squeezing Lenny on the outside.
gonna be too-
What is going to
too
happen
wide
into
in.
the
They're
castle?
just
Is
gonna be
anyone gonna-
careful. Try and
No
bring
one...
this all in
Oh my goodness! That is not what...
Very
bit.
annoyed at this situation.
Aksha
You saw
has
either
hit
in
it as well,
every
and I believe
situation of the
he's gone.
Overseas
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Lenny.
was unable to attack Rin after the safety car dropped. He just started losing time. However, this safety car may actually be the make or break for Rin after having a great race. An absolutely
is-
Yeah,
phenomenal race.
He's led every lap up to now, bar in that first pit stop window.
This is Edith's make or break right now. If he gets, if he isn't caught napping by Rin, then he can go on to win. But oh no,
I think at this point it's advantage Rin.
he is definitely advantage
He's,
to Rin. But
he's come out best out of every single safety restart.
if Edu manages to pull this off, this is going to be fantastic. I mean, he's kept up with him, and then I guess obviously Rin is going to be really angry that he just lost if he would have lost.
Yeah,
the
he had a
race.
3-second advantage coming into that safety car.
I'm very sorry what happened.
Is the safety car coming in lap 25?
It will come in at the end of lap 24.
The start of lap 25. Okay.
Yeah, there will be 2 racing laps.
2 racing laps. Damn, this is fantastic.
So there will not be DRS either for either lap.
I have never expected to see 8 drivers out in tier 1.
Cicero was blaming Jeremy for that incident.
I think it's just Cicero being Cicero.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was completely alongside.
He
There's
was
nowhere for him
completely-
to go.
It was completely alongside, and Jeremy. Actually, that was Jeremy's corner, the one where bashing Jeremy.
I think there's going to be a long debate into that one if there's a report made.
Again, if you just,
Should
I think if-
support.
I think Bashi should have backed out, but that's my opinion. What do you think about that, Cameron?
Honestly, I don't think. No, he's just going to pick up the points, and every point at this point is great. If this is Rin's best track, then they need to maximise their points from this race.
He needs to win this. He needs to get that fastest lap as well. Maximize.
He's holding that at the moment.
I think everyone is on. Yeah, they're all on fresh softs. Everyone's just going to go for the fastest lap if they can.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely crazy.
That's amazing. 5th, 6th, 7th, Atcher, D-Man, and Oatley.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
I
But
think
if
that's
Atcher
going to
can-
change a bit in the next few laps, but that is impressive.
If Atcher can hold Jeremy more than anyone else behind, Jeremy and Bashi,
It's going to keep Fenrir on the podium. That's what it's going to do.
that is fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes you'll see a poll
Here we go.
appear in your chats. Use that to vote for the driver of the day. And
Safety car is in this lap.
yeah, there is not a lot of time left for you to vote for driver of the day, so you got to do it quick.
It hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, give it a second. I just need to quickly actually do it.
Oh, we love the admins of this server.
When Edu, oh,
Here we go.
My heart is beating really hard right now.
And
I'm
Rid's
actually-
gone. Edith's gone with. I will say, Epic Melon is tucked right up behind Fenrir. We might see a dive bomb here.
They are all draining their battery.
Yeah, they will be. It's 2 laps to go. And Epic has dropped. It's an AlphaTauri 3 and 4. But Jeremy moving past Oatley as well.
Actor
Demand.
actually makes it up into P4. And Epic is
Oh,
actually,
Demand.
Jeremy
Yeah,
has dropped a lot of places.
Yeah, Jeremy's dropped back. Epic's dropped back. Demanded up into 5th.
Max is.
Oh, there's a huge crash.
There's a
Huge crash
an
into turn 3.
Epic and
Demand
D-Man
is
is out. Oh my goodness, he will get the points, but this is not what he wanted. He did not want to actually get destroyed this lap because he was actually in it for the P6. But
That
now
is
he will
terrible.
only get
He
enough
moved up
1
into
point.
P5.
That
He
is
just
terrible.
squeezed it. I think that was a combination. Epic moved left, D-Man moved right, and they just crossed.
Now that
I
may
really
end
think
up being a
again-
report that we may end up seeing.
I think at this point, I still think D-Man is at fault. This is something which I did today in lap 1. It's unacceptable.
And these
You
guys-
keep on squeezing the person, but then
You can't
mess up.
squeeze like that. Yeah, you're right, bro.
Yeah, you can squeeze them, but then after that you just don't go into them and you don't just push them into the wall on a track like
The
that.
problem is if Epic was pushing left, if Epic pushed too far left, he will have just turned D-Man straight into the wall, and there's
Bashi
nothing D-Man
goes
can do
wide
there.
and Jeremy gets a better exit out of turn 15 here. And we saw
Bashi's gonna tuck
Jeremy
in,
get
he's
that
got the slipstream.
3-second time penalty. That is not what Jeremy wanted, because that actually puts him into P8. He has to gain that time ahead of Bashi right now if he wants to get any decent
Rin
points out of
has
this.
absolutely broken away now.
And
Yeah,
Edu
this
has
is-
just nothing to show for this. But we see Fenrir and Atcher in P3 and P4 respectively. The Alpha Tauris just...
Yeah,
God knows
Epic
what they're
gets
doing.
solid points.
Oh my
I think
goodness,
that
this
has
is
been-
not what you
Adja's
expected.
going to hold this. Adja's just going to hold this. He does have his penalty, so I
Now,
don't
do
think
you-
we're going to see any moves.
Yeah, there'll be
This
no
is going to
moves,
be
or
fantastic.
maybe the way that he's driving is kind of looking like he really wants to go for it, but the team orders will be saying stay behind. Stay behind, there's no point. You've got the big
He's gone
gap to the guy
straight on.
behind.
I think if he's the faster guy, he
And
would.
Bashi has gone straight
Yeah.
on.
He
And
is
he's
now
been
dropped down to
overtaken by
last.
Epic Melon. And this is Bashi's race is over. There is absolutely nothing he can do now. Jeremy has the time advantage and everyone else but Max. Max may be able to finish ahead of Jeremy, but if Jeremy can get that overtake into the last DRS straight on Oates, Oates may be able to, well, may be unable to show anything out of it and may actually end up P6.
However, there is the penalty for Adja as well, so Oatley, I think, has got P4 in the bag here.
Oh my god, Oatley on his first race, actually not his first race, but first race this season in Tier 1 is going to get P4. That's going to be...
He
A
had
shocker for everyone.
started the race near the bottom of the grid, and pretty
He
much
started
during the
dead
whole of
last.
the race, he started last, and the whole of the race he's been out of it until now. That last safety car has just completely destroyed the
Jeremy
leaderboard.
could get in here.
Yeah, but Jeremy's got a penalty.
But I believe Rin
He's not going to
deserves...
defend it.
They are side by
believe-
side. Let's see if we
And
can
Lenny's
get it.
out of battery. Lenny's out of battery. I think Oatley's going to hold on here on track.
And
Yeah,
he's
here we go.
weaving left to right, and Oates is just showing off to Lenny, and Lenny's dropping down the order. He's now 7th.
What
Wait,
a
with
race.
the Yacht is 8 seconds behind. What must have happened previous to
He
that?
further back, 11.
It's absolutely fantastic drive
There
out
we
of
go.
Rin.
What a drive by Ren. What a
What an
drive.
epic drive by Rin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chance. Vote for your strong poll now before the next 10 seconds. No, the next 1 minute. so we can see who the driver of the day is. Obviously, the game is saying the driver of the day of the Oats because he came from last to 5th, but we will be using a different metric. So our podium, Rin, followed by Edu, followed by who was the other guy? Followed by Fenry. Absolutely amazing drive. Fantastic drive, ladies and gentlemen.
What a drive from him. Pole position, fastest, led every single lap of the race, fastest lap. What a drive.
And now,
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody saw it coming into this season, though. That's a big shock. He spent most of the last season on the bench.
Everyone was shocked when he said that pole lap in quali. He was 6 tenths up on Beclau at that point, and now from starting on pole, finishing the race P1 with the fastest lap. Also, I think the fastest lap is a second faster than anyone else's.
Second faster than Edu's.
That is amazing.
Not only that, it's actually matching 95% of the quali times from our tier 2.
and the
Yes,
leaderboard
that is
ends up with
an
Rin,
insane
Edu,
pace.
Fenrir, Fraudily, Adcha, Max, Jeremy dropping down to P7 out of being 3rd before the safety car. Yorn
Jeremy and
Bashi
Bashi
having
incident.
a horrible drive. He must be kicking himself right now. Lastly by D-Man, who unfortunately had that DNF 2 laps before.
However, he will get points.
He will get points.
This was actually amazing from Fenrir and Oakley and Atcha, in my opinion. This was a great race, great drives from them. They were at the back.
has pitted as well, and I believe
Gonna take a second to actually just.
Obviously,
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Letty.
was
Then he's taking the
unable to do
outside.
anything out of that corner, and
Jeremy
gets a
and,
tight
Bashi,
squeeze.
if we can
Bashi
get one of them on the
squeezing
inside.
Lenny on the outside.
gonna be
What
too-
is going to
too
happen
wide
into
into
the
the
castle?
castle
Is everyone going to?
section.
No one! Oh my goodness! That is not what.
A little bit.
Adcha has pitted as well, and I
Because
believe
we
he's
see going into the
Obviously,
castle.
Oh,
Bashi
here comes Letty.
was
Then he's taking the
unable to do
outside.
anything out of that corner.
He's on the
He
outside of Bashi.
Gets
He
a
does
tight
squeeze Bashi a
squeeze.
little bit
Bashi
tight, but that's
squeezing
he's
Lenny
trying
on the
to kill
This is
outside.
gonna be
What
too-
is going to
too
happen
wide
into the
into the
castle?
castle
Is everyone
section.
going to?
Give
No
up.
one!
We expect
Oh!
Jeremy to
Oh
slow
my
down, but Jeremy's on
goodness!
the
That
inside.
is not what.
And I don't know if Jeremy
Adcha
expected
has
Bashi to
pitted
give
as
up, but
well.
none of them gave
boom,
up.
boom, boom.
Obviously,
Oh.
Bashi.
And now we're joined in the
Gets
chat
a
by
tight
Bashi
squeeze.
and Jeremy.
Squeezing
Can we
Lenny
have
on
an
the
explainer?
outside.
We can start
What
with
is
the
going to
Bashi.
happen into the castle?
Can we have an
Is
explainer?
everyone
What
No
were
one
you guys
knows.
thinking? Well, what were you thinking, Bashi? Going, you
well,
can see
apparently.
in the stream, you guys were side by side going into the castle section. None of you wanted to give up. What were you thinking?
I was thinking I had the racing line and I was ahead.
It's straight simple as that. You had the racing line in your head. Okay, Jeremy, what were you thinking going into this castle section? Side by side with Bashi.
I have the inside line, and he didn't leave a cars width.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold
you
up,
look like
wait,
you turned
wait,
it a
wait,
little earlier.
Watch. You ready?
I could have turned it.
Okay, watch it. Look here.
Physically,
Boom.
it was a.
And then
you're not
here,
showing
look.
your screen.
Share on me.
Oh, where's my screen
No,
share, bro?
look at the stream. It's on the stream right now. The replay is on the stream.
We got my but we got my POV.
Oh, we've got your POV. Oh, that's even better. Let's see if
Look,
we can get
okay.
your POV.
So here, that's a
hold on.
crossword.
Let's put it on for the viewers to see.
Okay.
Give me.
Do you want audio?
Wait, Bashi, that curb you put me on the outside on the braking zone, it literally I could not brake on it. It's so slippy.
Which
Okay,
one?
Play.
The
Oh.
outside of the really tight right
I
hand.
lose my traction there, which this move's fair on. Like that was my fault. And then left to car's width.
Yep. Nice cars width. Yeah.
I went as tight as I could without a pen. Left to car's width.
Perfectly fine. That's
And
what
then-
we're seeing on the stream. Then here is
And
the
then
incident.
I get hit 3 times into the wall.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know what to think of this. This is a
I have my POV.
for the stewards. We saw your POV. We were sat on you, so we saw everything
Oh.
that happened.
Yeah, but I want to show you slow down.
Oh, okay. Show us slow down before we.
I can't slow it down, but I will put out points. So
Okay.
like, obviously we have Bashi here.
Wait,
He
This
he is.
not loading. Wait.
Oh, cock. You reckon? Yes. No.
Yeah, it's working for us.
Okay. Look, so man's traction is just not good enough yet. Puts me on this curb, yeah. Doesn't do anything good enough. Hits me there, yeah, bruv. And then, like, look here, yeah. I brake, normal. Look. I'm going as tight as now. He hits me here, yeah. That puts me into that wall, which then puts me straight into him.
Now we've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. We just need to see what the stewards will say out of this. If either one of them wants to report it, or they'll leave it as a racing incident. But we're gonna say goodbye to Jeremy and Bashi.
No, we're not.
You guys can disappear. Please
Toodle
disappear.
pet.
Bye. And yes, that is unfortunately what happened between them. Now, Green, do you have any thoughts about that?
I feel like after watching that bash he is at the vault, he didn't leave
bashes
much
at fault.
space and put
What,
Jeremy in the inside wall.
what about you, Mr. Cameron? Who do you believe is at fault for this one?
Oh, I think it's just going to be a racing incident. Neither of them left space. Both had the opportunity to back out. I think it's going to be a long decision for the stewards.
Very long decision for the stewards. That is if either one of them even reported. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what we came to see. We came to see incidents and fun and good racing. This was good racing, just taken a little bit too far, but it's interesting. And yes, this is where we'll end it for our Tier 1 race in Azerbaijan. Our driver of the day today is Rin. Rin, you'll be awarded your driver of the day point, according to the admins. And thank you for joining us. It has been me, DMC, and Mr. Cameron, and Greenie, and Jeannie, who left us a few minutes ago. Hopefully you guys had a beautiful day, and we will see you next time.